Australian student visa aspirants usually start their journey by brainstorming. What to study, meaning which course, and where to study, meaning which university, are the two frequently asked questions. Choosing between instinct and reason is not easy. Forget about permanent residence. Even for a student visa, you can't just cherry pick your course. For example, you can't consider studying something entirely different to what you have studied before. To put it simply, your Australian study should be relevant to your background. You might be interviewed by the department to explain why you chose a particular course to satisfy what is called as a genuine temporary entrant criterion, shortly GTE. I have a separate video on what is a GTE. Selecting a uni, again part of GTE, is asking you this question: what's in it for you to study in Australia, preferring Australia over other Western countries? You should have some understanding about the university you want to study in. For that, you might have to do some research about different education providers or take help from professionals like me who will do that investigation for you. Never ever jump to a conclusion based on what your friend or a relative in Australia said. Many of the migrants don't keep themselves updated with immigration news in their busy lives. So bluntly believing in people whom you know is a case of blind leading the blind. If you need assistance in picking and choosing a uni, please contact me. You have to think about your future and plan accordingly. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So students always should try to study something which gives them more points. Maximizing points is what your research plan should contain. One of the ways to maximize points is to study a specialist education qualification. The points test awards 5 additional points for doctorate or master's by research level qualifications gained from Australian universities in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, collectively known as STEM, STEM, or it could also be from a specified information and communication technology ICT fields. Studying in a regional area is another option to get additional 5 points. Let's imagine you have done a specialist education in a regional area. You would get 5 plus 5 points, and on top of that you get 5 points for satisfying the Australian study requirement. So you get 15 points in total for doing that, and another 15 points for your degree. If your age is between 25 to 32, you have 30 points. This means even if you have IELTS 6 each or PTE 50 each and your occupation is on the SOL or CSOL, you will meet the 60 points, which are the pass points, to be eligible for a permanent residence. A bottleneck in getting admission is writing an English language test, which will be later be an obstacle in getting the permanent residence if you are eligible for that. Now, which exam should you write? Two popular choices are IELTS and PTE academic. If you do a comparative analysis in a student visa context, I would suggest you write PTE academic, as it might be useful for study and then for migration, meaning permanent residence, in future if you are eligible again. As IELTS has 2 different modules and each one for a particular purpose, taking an IELTS academic module for a student visa might not be useful for permanent residence. You might have to write IELTS General again for PR purpose. If you took IELTS Academic module for study purpose. PT Academic, on the other hand, might be helpful for both study and migration, meaning for both student visa and permanent residence. Therefore, I would strongly recommend writing PTE Academic instead of IELTS Academic module for a student visa. Regarding accommodation, these days it's relatively easy to make friends online and get help weeks before making the first entry to Australia. I would recommend making new friends from different countries, preferably the locals, so as to make yourself multicultural, which is part and parcel of Australian life. The Australian people will give you more importance if you can integrate into their Australian lifestyle. The department will treat a permanent residence applicant positively if the applicant knew the Australian values and shown evidence that the applicant had mixed well with the local community. Furthermore, you will learn new useful things. If you stay with your relatives or your friends you are familiar with, you're not going to learn anything new as you will be in your comfort zone. We can only grow if we pop out of our comfort zone. What's the point in coming to this immigration nation and a land of opportunity if you can't make new friends? If you need assistance how to make your journey hassle-free and get an Australian student visa, or get answers to which course you should study or which uni you should choose, it is prudent to go to a migration agent who is also an education agent, because migration and education are a bit different. We all want our journey to go smoothly and by taking informed decisions. As I said, failing to plan is planning to fail, and after watching this video, you don't want to fail. So, what are you waiting for? Please contact me to book an appointment, as I am both an education and migration agent who can help you plan your Australian student journey. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe for more action.